An unholy alliance by Dr. Michael Youssef taxpayers are funding jihad. The Islamists have been declaring their intentions for decades, and our response has been to simply close our eyes and cover our ears and pretend the Islamists don't mean what they say. We keep subsidising the jihadists as they wage war against us. A March 2009 incident in Luton, northwest of London, should have been a 10-alarm warning to us all. At that time, Great Britain was involved in the Iraq War, which began in 2003, and the 2nd Battalion Royal Anglian Regiment was returning to Luton after completing a second tour in Iraq. As the soldiers marched down the street, thousands of cheering people turned out for the homecoming. But among the welcoming crowd was a small group of Islamists who shouted, "Rapists! Murderers! Cowards! Baby killers!" The Islamist activists, along with their leader Anjem Choudary, were arrested and charged with offences against the public order, including making threats. During their trial in January 2010, the Islamists showed contempt for the court by refusing to stand when the judge entered the courtroom. The judge could have charged them with contempt, but said she did not want to set a precedent by doing so. Incredibly, the Islamists claimed in court that their words were not intended to upset anyone. In fact, Choudary claimed that it impossible that the soldiers or their supporters would have been offended, because the protesters were merely speaking the truth. The defendants were treated with an extra measure of respect. The court gave them an extended lunch hour so they could pray at a nearby mosque, and a quiet room for prayers was set aside for them in the courthouse. During the 6-day trial, supporters of the defendants stood outside the courthouse holding signs that declared, "Islam will dominate the world! Freedom can go to hell!" Although perhaps hard to believe, Islamist hardliners really do hate freedom. They believe that Allah has spoken through Muhammad, that his revelation in the Quran is final and absolute, and freedom can only lead people into error and sin. What the world needs, they believe, is absolute universal submission to Allah, not freedom. The defendants were found guilty, but received conditional discharges. No punishment as long as they do not re-offend. Though the offence carries a maximum fine of £1,000, they were only required to pay £500 in court costs. Outside the court, the Islamists bragged that they all received welfare benefits from the British taxpayers. The taxpayer paid for this court case, they said. The taxpayer will pay for the fines too, out of benefits. In fact, Anjem Choudary has made a video that is widely circulated among Islamists in Great Britain, showing them how to collect Britain's generous job seekers allowance. This way, the Islamists could support their families, fund a Muslim holy war against the West, and never have to work a single day. British taxpayers are thus funding the jihad waged against them. As Choudary himself said, "I am not on job seekers' allowance. I'm on jihad seekers' allowance." The Islamist defendants told reporters that being fined is a medal of honour, and that the conviction would not deter them from future protests. "This case," one of them said, "shows the need for Sharia law. British law is not credible.